Hello, my name is Craig Gallen, and this is a very brief introduction to the Foundation Computing course. I'm really glad that you're going to be doing this course. I think it's going to be fun, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview now of what we're going to be covering during the coming term. So this course is basically a broad introduction to computing in general. We're not going to go very deep into anything, but we are going to give you a broad understanding of all of the components within a computer system and how they work together. And that really is just to give you enough of an understanding so that whenever you go into each of these separate subjects in depth, you'll have a broad context in which to understand those various bits. Now, I'm going to assume very limited or no knowledge. Basically, you know how to turn on a computer and you know a little bit about it, but I'm not going to assume you know anything else beyond that, and we'll work from that basic foundation up to a reasonably good knowledge. Some of you, however, probably do know a fair bit about computing. So this module's for you as well. What we're going to say is that there will be topics that you can study in depth and build on the knowledge that you already have. Quite likely, a number of you have played with Windows, but maybe not with any Linux or Unix-based systems. So again, there'll be opportunity to do that. But think of this as an opportunity to take the first term to get yourself familiar with all of the technologies that you're likely to encounter. And if you do already know them and want to investigate that in depth yourself, that's absolutely fine. Theoretically, we're going to be looking a little bit at the history of computing. It's quite often very valuable to go right back to the beginning and see how things have developed the way they've developed, because otherwise you just end up reinventing the wheel and thinking you've discovered something new when actually the same thing has been done for years and years and years. We're going to look at the key components within any computer system, what a CPU is, how memory works, what peripherals are. We're also going to look very briefly at programming languages. We're not going to go into any one language in any great depth, but we're going to show you fundamentally how they work and what they do. And we're going to look at operating systems. Now, most of you will be familiar probably with some form of Windows, but perhaps not as familiar with any form of Linux. And what we're going to do is, by the end of this course, hopefully you'll have a good understanding of how Linux is put together and the command line to actually get it to do something useful for you. We're also going to look a little bit at security and also at networking and at cloud. Again, just foundation stuff to get your network working, to get your cloud application working, but we're not going to go into any great depth. But hopefully that'll be good enough for you. Now, in order to do this, we're going to actually use a Raspberry Pi as our starting point. Now, some of you may have used Raspberry Pis in schools before, but you know, the reality is that Pis, and you can see here a picture of a little Raspberry Pi, which is this little box. We're going to connect it to a few peripherals so you can get some lights turning on and off. Here's all the Pis that we have for you. And really the idea is that what we're going to do is use this as a really good example computer that allows you to understand how most large-scale computers work, because everything that's in a big computer is basically in a Raspberry Pi. So we'll have some fun examples. We will cover a bit about assembler and C, and we'll work with some simple hardware. Your actual assessment for this module is going to be by personal learning record. And this is the trick, really. If you already know a lot, then all you need to do is to show evidence of progress. So building on what you already know, showing that you've gone after some particular aspect of what's covered in the course and done it in more depth, that'll be absolutely fine. If, however, you don't know anything, that's fine as well. The personal learning record will give a record of what you've actually learnt during the term. And I'll be here to help you. But this course relies on you being quite self-sufficient yourself and working with your colleagues to learn what you can about these little bits of hardware. So that really is just an introduction. I hope that you will enjoy the course. I'm really looking forward to teaching it, and we will see you in a few weeks' time. Thank you.